Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Maybe hit like and subscribe, and I would love to know what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you ever so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me and talk cross stitch and all sorts of fun stuff that is in our community. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Before I get started, I do have two things that I wanted to do, and then we will go into my projects. I have 12 projects. One of them is a new start, and then I didn't get any stitchy finishes done, but on top of all that, I have one full finish. I'm trying to do full finish February, and I think I'm at 5 or 6. So, you know, that's pretty good because some months I get 0, and I'm pretty pleased with that. Let me see for a second here, and I will tell you. Yeah, this is number 6. So that's a lot of fun. And hopefully the last week, I know on my desk there is at least 3 more that I would like to get finished. And then, ooh, maybe we can get at least 1 more to round it off to 10 full finishes this month. We'll see. Alrighty. First off, I did want to, let me go here to library, address our giveaway for the booklet of patterns that were from the designers at the Great Australian Shindig. Unfortunately, our first winner, I never heard from them. And so I do usually give the 2 weeks and then I choose a new winner. So I did that this morning right before I pressed play myself. And Stacy Cooper 1634. So congratulations, Stacy. You won the booklet. So if you could get back to me with what address that you would like Lisa to send that to, then I will let her know and she'll take care of that. So thank you so much for participating and I hope you enjoy it. Alrighty, and the other thing I wanted to mention, if you remember, gosh, was it just last week or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember anymore. I'm trying to look, these notes wouldn't tell me. I finished Arabesque stitching it and I showed it to you from Jan Hicks Creates, and I loved stitching it. I love how it looks. Well, this week, Peggy, and remember when I mention somebody, if they have a channel, I will put their name and then their channel name. So all you have to do is scroll down into the description box and find them, and then you can go to their videos. Peggy put up a video and she finished Arabesque from Jan Hicks Creates, and it is stunning. It is so beautiful. And it, again, it just blows my mind how versatile this project is. Whatever color scheme you want, I've seen it in so many different ways, and I kept it pretty true to what Jan Hicks designed, which, if you know me, that's really unheard of. But I have loved to see, I have loved to have seen all of what other people are doing with it. So if you'd like to see a finished version of it, completely different than mine, then go head on over to Peggy and check hers out because it's beautiful. Alrighty, so nice job, Peggy. Let's get going in some of my projects. So like I said, I have 12. Now, I did a lot of challenges this week. So if you are new, this is my trusty challenge notebook. I do like to add things like washi tape and markers. I usually will do like certain color schemes for certain months. So this February, obviously pinks and reds have been really my focus, with some purples thrown in here too. Here's my Stitch the Winter Olympics. So this week I worked on Stitch the Winter Olympics every day. And you're going to see from Thursday through this Wednesday of this week. And next week, you'll see the last bits of the challenge. I did a couple of I Spy prompts. I did Whip into Shape. I did the Lonely Hearts challenge. And I'm trying to think, I think that might be it this week. So lots happening. But if you know me, you know I love the challenges. And I find keeping them in one place and making them pretty with the markers and things like that. And mostly it's just the washi tape with some stickers once in a while. So then it's just lots of colored markers. It's been a lot of fun, and it's fun to decorate, and then it helps me keep track because before I started using these books, I completely couldn't remember what was happening when. So this has been a lot of fun. So you'll see me reference this quite a bit today, especially because there is a lot that I did with the different projects. So I think when I was doing my list of projects here, I first set out, I have the 7 projects from Stitch the Olympics, and then I have other projects afterwards. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to how I put them, but I figured I'll do the 7 days first. Within that, there are some other challenges that I might have done, so I'll tell you as we go along. Alrighty, I'm trying to do this without overhead lights. It is dark, dreary, rainy, and honestly, we could all just take a nap right now if you were here, because it's one of those mornings, right? So I'm hoping though, with the windows I have here, it will be bright enough so I don't have to have the other light. Alrighty, so this first piece here, I don't think I'd worked on it yet this year, and so I decided I wanted to do so. The prompt was, what was the prompt? Something that had a border or a row. Well, this one definitely has a border, and I am actually stitching it, so there you go. This is Cinderella, and it is from Lina Ova. And I also use this for I Spy, prompt something in a fairy tale, because obviously we have a castle and we have a pumpkin carriage, which pretty sure we're not going to see that in real life. There is a hashtag for hashtag Lina Ova Sal. It's just an ongoing kind of perpetual thing. I have 2 Lina Ovas going right now, and there are others that I would like to do. So you're more than welcome to jump in and do some if you'd like. And say you liked this pattern, but maybe you didn't like the whole. The beautiful thing about these Lina Ovas, and she has other things as well. Like if I just wanted to do the center with Cinderella and Prince Charming, just do that part, you could. Because they're kind of done in different blocks, you could do this one without doing that outer border if you wanted to. Mary Poppins, I'm not doing the outer border. So there's a lot of versatility with these patterns if you wanted to pick and choose. Maybe you wanted just a castle for something specific. You've got that there too. So that's a lot of fun. As a reminder, all of my projects this week are 18 count, Ada. Some of them, like this one, I don't have a tag for, so I do not know. Let me see. Let me open it up because I think I've gone a little bit farther down. Yes, my side borders are extremely, extremely tight. I know. I saw this fabric and I kind of wanted to do the light blue on the dark blue. And there was no tag, so I couldn't buy more and maybe try to get like a bigger, a half rather than a quarter. So I just made it work. I counted very diligently and made it work. I am using DMC on this one, which light colored DMC sometimes is where my stitches start to get a little wonky. This is 3325, this one. I'm not sure why I have a bunch of flosses oh, I know what that came out of. I'll fix that in a minute. But I'm doing okay. And really, if you're looking that close that you can see my wonky stitches, then you're looking too close. So I did get the top border finally finished. Yay. And I did a little bit of the letters, and I did pull underneath the border a little bit of this over too. For the Olympics, I am trying to do a minimum of 200 stitches. But this one, I know I did more than that because I wanted to get a little bit of work on it. So it did get some more time besides that. Oh, isn't this a pretty color blue? I wish I knew what fabric it was. It kind of feels like dyeing for cross stitch, her fabric. So I might take a look at her website and see if something jumps out at me. So there it is. And last year I did this one. I don't know if I rotated this one for either the Stride and Sal or the Focus event. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it into this year's stitching. Mary Poppins is farther along, so I plan on focusing on that one more than this one and pull this out maybe for challenges and things like that and other fun stuff, and with the idea that and because I'm stitching the border, this is a lot more stitching, the idea that Mary Poppins will be finished way before this one, but that's okay. It's not a race. And Oh, it will definitely probably come out in March for Monochromatic March. So I'm sure you'll see it next month at some point. Okay, next. So the next prompt, now when I wrote the prompts, I didn't do the long official prompt. I kind of just abbreviated it a little bit. Like I just put border row for that one last Thursday. So when we get to the point where I think it's like, one is to keep you on track and one is something, I don't remember. Those, I kind of just made them simple words. So go with the official from the Nap Time Stitcher. The official, if you want to see her, the actual, what the prompts are, I would send you towards her Instagram. Okay, so the next one is Halloween fall themed. And I was excited to pull out this again because it didn't get a lot of work in October. And then, you know, we were into November, December, so it didn't really see much work after I started it. This is Glenda's Garden, and it's from the Artsy Housewife. And I am not stitching this whole bottom part. I'm only stitching from here up, which frankly is probably, there's probably more than 50% that I'm not stitching. It's beautiful down there, but I just think this is gonna look kind of cool on its own. So that's what I'm doing. I think it's gotten darker. Oh gosh. Well, if it gets too dark, then I will just pause and stick the lights on. Here we go. This is where I am. This is Pumpkin Spice from To Die for Fabric. Let me go over a little bit here. So there we go. I am changing a little bit. Now I don't think it says here, there's variegated flosses called for, and I am not using the called for. What I've chosen to do, I'm using a Threadworks. When I looked at this, inside looked really kind of bluish. It's probably not going to show up as much in this light, but that's a bluish kind of Threadworks. And then I'm going to use a variegated from Stitchy Stuff Co., a black, for that part. And then we'll see if I use called for DMC, like whatever the DMC conversions are down here, or if I still use either the Threadworks or the other black when we get to it. I know it doesn't look like I did much, but it's hard to see. There you go. I filled in all of the outline portions, like you see that here, that lightish purple. So that's all done. And then I did do quite a bit of filling in. This is more stitching than you realize. But so now this part will be super easy to stitch because it's all confined in one area. So that would be good for zooms or things like that. And then we'll branch out from there. But I really like this one quite a bit. I just thought the look of it was so fun and so interesting. And like I said, I think it's going to be cool just stitching it from the bottom, you know, from that middle part up. So we'll see. We will see. Are you stitching this one? And if you've stitched the whole part of it, I would love to see it because I bet you it is gorgeous. All right, so put that in the bag. Okay, what was the next one? So the third piece I'm going to show you. So this was for on Valentine's Day. It was your favorite designer. Now, I don't necessarily have a favorite. I like lots of different designers. So the way I handled it, because there's not one to me, like my absolute favorite designer, if you were to say, how would you define that? I would say it would be a designer that I would buy every single thing that they've ever charted. And I'm not sure that I have somebody that's that. So then I looked at, well, who am I doing a lot of projects from right now? Who do I have a lot of whips from? And I would have started this anyway. This is a new start, actually. Oh, I forgot to put that on my notes. Yes, this is another new start. This is not the one I talk about later. I was starting this one anyway, and I have a lot of patterns from Pansy Patch Quilts. So I said, well, I'm going to count it because it's getting worked on that day regardless. I started this one with Mary. Mary and I are doing quite a few projects from Pansy Patch and Blueberry Ridge together. And so we had planned on starting this one on Valentine's Day. It's the pink Peacock sampler. And then, oh gosh, it almost looked like there was some lightning there. Oh, did you, oh, sorry. That was thunder. I wasn't expecting that. As you could tell from my complete startlement. Who knew we'd be getting thunderstorms today? So I hemmed and I hawed on floss, and oh, it's coming through. The yellow's coming through today because there is no brightness light at all. One of you had suggested, ooh, how about a nice pale yellow? It's probably a little paler in person that's coming up there, and have the pink and the yellow. And I had not thought of that, which it was brilliant. I loved that idea. So thank you. I am using, let me see if I can pull out. I opened one, however, I was worried then, once I decided what I was using, I was worried that I'd run out. So I did buy another one. I am using Threadworks 1005. So I don't know, you can see that against the, it is variegated, although again, I'm not necessarily trying for max variegation. And in person, you can see a little bit light and dark. I have no idea in this light if you're gonna see that at all. But I am really pleased. I did not get all this done on Saturday. I did work on Saturday, and then I also picked it up several days just to do 100 stitches a day with it. So in the end, it got a really nice start. I am not all the way over to the edge yet, so I don't know how far over it is going yet. But I just, you know how much I love monochromatic. If I could only stitch one type of stitching, you know, whether it's reproduction samplers or full coverage or prim or maybe pop culture, whatever it was, monochromatic, it can span everything, but it just, as long as it was monochromatic, if that's what you were gonna just hold me to, that would be it. I find it so relaxing, so calming, and I feel so productive because you're not worrying about having to change colors all the time. So that's where I am, and I really enjoyed it. I will keep an eye out for some time to maybe work on it again this week, because you know I do like to try to do 2 weeks on new starts, although it doesn't always happen. There's a lot of different kind of games going on still, so we'll see if I can fit it in. When I do the games, I actually, oh, and has this got a name to it? No, it does not. It does not, although again, I think it might be dying for cross stitch. So when I was first buying from her, the name was on the bag that it came in, and I took them out of the bags, and then I tried to attach, let me see, I don't think I have anything. I would cut out that little name, and then I'd try to attach it to the thing that the, oh, wait a minute. Look at that. I did, and I didn't even realize it, so I'll have to fix that in my notes. It's Lazy Daisy Medium from Dying for Cross Stitch. But you can see that's the plastic, so I cut that off, and then I try to attach it, but very often they come undone. So Dying for Cross Stitch, what she does is she does colors, and then she dyes them very often as lights, mediums, and darks. And so you have an option. Now, this one is medium. I'm a little surprised because it's pretty light. I would guess that the light would be very, very pale. But, so there you go. I was a little more efficient than I thought. But yeah, so you might see this one again. I find Dying for Cross Stitch it's not as soft as, say, like a Picture This Plus. But it's not quite as, I don't even want to say stiff, because a lot of the other ones that I use, like a To Die For or Fabrics by Stephanie or Those Missing, they're not stiff. They hold up. They have good body. This is kind of in between, maybe the Stitch Me level. It kind of reminds me of, if you've never used any of her fabrics before. But it is nice. I stitch in hand, and I don't have any problems with it. Picture This Plus is one of the few I do have problems with because it's so loose. Although there is one color I'm stitching on that's actually not bad at all. So I wonder sometimes if it depends on the color and the dyeing process. Oh, let me put the actual cover in here with this in the bag so I don't lose it. So yeah, oh, it is pouring rain right now. Hopefully Bella doesn't say she has to go out. I think right beforehand when I was getting ready, she was out with Mo, and I opened up the window because I'm on the second floor, and I called down to say hi. And then after Mo came in, he said, she was totally confused. She didn't know where I was. Was I outside? Was I inside? She didn't know. Alrighty. What is my next one here? Okay, so on the 15th, it was something towards a goal. My goal here is basically just to keep going with this. I I would love to have this one finished this year. These have way more stitches than you think, though. You know, you look at them and think, okay, that's doable. I mean, even size-wise, it's what, 120 by 120? But it is a solid 120, 120. Not full coverage, but that area all is, that all is, that all is. So there's quite a bit there that is. I am debating, you'll notice I didn't put the fish here yet. I may not, and I may not put those fish there. I think by the whale's tail, I think those are cute, so I will do those. You know that I do like to kind of edit a lot of times, and I'm gonna do everything but those, and unless it looks really empty, which I kind of like the minimalist look, so I'm guessing I won't, I probably won't do them. And here it is. It is so funny, everything's looking lighter even though it's dark out. This is a little bit deeper blue than you're seeing. You're seeing it as a little bit brighter than it is on the fabric. This is Compelling Conchis from Those Missing Stitches. It is one that I have enjoyed doing kind of nautical pieces, beachy pieces on. And I decided to dig into this side of that spotlight. As you can see, there are so many designs and layers and colors. And I was kind of procrastinating. So kind of my goal was to stop the procrastinating and just get on doing it. Because I do have one more row of white here that you see I've started, and then a big row of red. But I think I'd like to kind of tackle that and then work my way down. I've started the whale here. Bits and pieces done, but this went better than I thought it would. It actually went better than this side did. So I was really pleased with that, and hopeful that means that this will go a little bit smoother. I had a rhythm, which, you know, when I started it, I didn't really feel the rhythm on that one. So, and that is with these by Cottage Garden Samplings. You know, they're always so beautiful, but they're always so intricate, right? And finding a rhythm and a flow is so key. I found that was what finally helped me with Turkey Day. And I struggle sometimes with them because of that. And so I'm feeling better about this one. Not better enough to say it's definitely getting finished anytime soon, but you know, baby steps. I at least have a plan, and I feel good about that part. All right, so the next day, what was I doing here? Part of a series. So this is not technically a series. I'm calling it such. I feel like it is, and it's my game, right? So I can do what I want. I pulled out Summer Quaker from Lila's studio. So she has the 4 Quakers, all seasonal, and I thought, well, to me, that's a series, right? Whether she kind of planned it to officially name it as such. And I am also doing this one for the Whip Into Shape with Andrew. Let me make sure I write down Andrew. Now, it is the walking edition this time, and I did 2, I think there's 4 walks out now, because I saw one recently come out. I've done the first 2. So I had, and I'm doing by the reference of steps. So whatever he does for steps, then he knocks off the last number, I believe. And then that's whatever you stitch. So walk number 1 was 289 stitches. Walk number 2 was 157. I did that all at once. And it's probably slightly more, but I'm not really gonna worry about it. I'm not sure if I'll get to walk 3 this week. If not, it's no biggie. I'll get to it when I get to it. But I am going to try to use this to see how far we can get on this piece. So here is Summer Quaker. The outside is completely done. It is just the inside that I'm working on now. I am not doing the clouds on the top there by the words in the sun. This fabric is Nantucket Sky by Fabrics by Stephanie, and it has kind of like a cloudy vibe, like a background wispy cloudy vibe to it. Actually, this is the area. I should fold this part over. It's mostly the area I worked on. So I felt like I didn't need the clouds. Plus, it talks about, you know, live in the sunshine. So I just want sunshine. I don't want the clouds. My beachy day here is very sunny. I mean, so there'd be a cloud here. I don't think it needs it. You know, the different areas of the shipper's still going to come up a bit yet. And then over here, and I certainly don't think it needs it there. So I did do all the way across. There is a row, kind of like a background row, bottom row, to kind of finish the outline of that piece. So I did do that. I was going to come over here and start underneath the whale. However, because all that is done from the whale, so just underneath the whale on that part, I decided which to start with, right? And so I had been working, the last time I had worked on it, I had worked on some of the kind of the town or the houses or whatever you want to call it. And I decided to continue to do that. We're at page breaks here. I might be at a 4-page break somewhere around here. This one I got as paper. Peace on Earth I did buy as digital. It did go into Pattern Keeper. It's going to make my life, it has made it incredibly much easier to work with. So if you are kind of one who likes to use the digital devices, I would suggest it for these, unless you want the paper copy, just because you don't have to worry about the page breaks. But I think I navigated it pretty good. We have this tree completely done. We worked a lot on this house. I did. The royal we, right? Got most of this house in. I think I just had a little bit, one row of the roof. Got that in. Most of it's done except for underneath kind of the top part of that. I did have a little extra white, so I finished the fence, worked up here and here. So I did get quite a bit of stitching. It was in the 400s, I think. However, you know, it doesn't, this gave me a good chunk right there. But then this doesn't look like a lot, but you'd be surprised how much is fit in there. So when I work on it next, I don't necessarily want to, there's a lot of color changes and things like that. So it's not necessarily the funnest part of it, but I think I do want to dig into that. And then I've talked about making the sea turtle that I had first seen it. Donna had done it. Donna's version of this is hanging at Floss and Flame in Dover, Delaware. It's beautiful. And so I'm thinking about that. So what I would do is I'd figure out where I wanted to put it and kind of map out how much that is, because I believe it's about the size. I did get the one that she used. And so I would do that. And then if I have to move any of the other fishes or things like that, no problem. I could do that and kind of work from there. You know, if there's some seagrass or algae or whatever's down there, we can work around that. I did see somebody finish this and not backstitch the mermaid. And what was interesting was, because you look at it and you think, oh boy, yeah, you need that backstitch. You did not actually. You could tell exactly what it was. It didn't blend and it looked really nice. So if you're thinking about the mermaid, you know, that might be an option. Now, maybe you might not like it that way, but I was pleasantly surprised that the backstitch in that case, you know, it was one of those where it was just your own personal preference, and it did look good without it. So there's a lot to do down here. I mean, this is full coverage. So, I mean, I have it as a, right? Isn't this on my 26 for 26? It's a long shot though. Let me go back and see in my January. Finish goal. Summer Quaker, yeah. Summer Quaker is on here. But, Andrew, you're going to have to walk an awful lot for me, I think, to get this one finished this year. So, there'll be a lot of steps you're getting in. But yeah, so this one will definitely come out on a regular basis. I don't know if I'll bring it for other challenges because it will be the piece for Whip into Shape until it's finished. So you may not see it for other things. I think the third walk, he did 500 stitches, 500, over 5,000 steps. So it's 500 stitches, and I didn't check the stitch count for walk number 4. So there's a lot of stitching to come from walk, at least 3, if not 4. So I have a lot to do yet. Alrighty, the next prompt was something with a house or a building. Now this is another one I would like to get finished, and I have a much easier shot of getting this one finished this year. This is Real Comfort by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I am not doing the bottom part, all the alphabet and everything else. I have not stitched the words up here. If I do stitch them, it will be below the houses right there. I'm going to stitch everything but that and then decide if I want it. I might. I haven't decided yet. I haven't gotten to it yet. Here it is. Now, I am devastated. I do have some frogging I need to do. Before I say that though, this is Bliss by Fabrics by Stephanie, and I am using a Pirate and Robin floss. And it is called Boysenberry. And it's beautiful. I love how deep and rich a color it is. And I love it on this pink. I was merrily stitching along. I was actually on a Zoom, which is why I didn't frog it, because I said I don't want to mess up the frogging as well. I just kind of set that aside and then worked in another spot. And I was like, okay, let's finish off. Everything mirrors up here, right? So I said, okay, this here, let's finish it off here. And I did a leaf that has to be frogged. And then I started this next section. And it never dawned on me that, see how there's no space there, but there's a big space there? That I was wrong. So I made this one too long and this one too short. So I have to pull all of that out, recount, and figure out where everything's got to go, and then redo it. So I let that go. I said, no, I'm not even going to worry about it. It'll be there. I know it's going to have to be done. I won't forget, because nothing works. When I was starting to stitch, it was too close to the edge. I said, it's not going to work. So even if I forgot, I would figure it out really quick. So instead, I finished the leaves up here. I finished the base here, and then I finished this whole building, which again, these things are, doesn't it look nice and cute and tiny? There's a lot of stitches in that cute and tiny house. So we still have kind of small to medium-ish, and then a small house, and then we have 3 on this side. I'll do the row underneath everything, and then I'll decide whether or not. But I just think it's so pretty. Oh, and I did a couple letters. You know what? I had to do a few letters of the word comfort, and after I realized this mistake, I said, you know what? I'm going to finish the word comfort to give myself some comfort. And that's what I did. But I still just have staying at home. So I just have the words at home left up there as well. I kind of wasn't doing that. I jumped down here because this huge blocky stuff, if for some reason I didn't feel like a block, I could do a strand up here with letters, because that was going fast. So I'm not worried. That will get done pretty timely. But yeah, so this one is, I'm going to definitely look for prompts for this one. You'll hopefully see it on a regular basis this year. And after how much time this house took, it makes me realize that the rest of the town here is going to take a while. It is not, it looks, okay, it's block stitching, but hey, it's block stitching, right? So that should be pretty easy. And it is once you get moving and you know where the windows are. I mean, and on this side, there's lots of windows there. So like that building shouldn't be a ton of stitches, but it's big enough. So you don't always realize it until you're into it. I've said this before, I love the look of houses, and I actually buy quite a few patterns that do have a house. And then I get in the middle of it and I'm kind of like, boy, oh boy, this house might be a little bit too much. And then I just go and I start another house piece, because that's just the way it is. It seems to be what I do. All right, so last Thursday, the last prompt I'm going to show you it was a project of your choice. I don't remember the exact wording. I'm sure she had something, it was better related to the Olympics somehow or other. But that's all I wrote down. And I chose, where is it? This one I would most definitely like to get finished this year. And it is a little bit of a struggle because of all the darn fractional stitches. This is Autumn Drizzle. It is from Pigeon Coop Designs, and it is in the book. Do I have it here? Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Pigeon. I took a picture of it so I'd have it in my list here, so that's why I don't show you the book. Now, the thing is, it's very cool, but all of those trees, inside and out, it's all fractional. I can't tell yet. I'm not sure with the river if it's fractional, but anything where you see openings, it's all fractional. And that's a lot. Now, yes, I do Ada. Does that bother me? No. I don't know. I think I use regular needles, but they pierce fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it is, you know, you're not going through the regular holes, so it's just slower. And so after a while, it gets a little bit on the very edge of tedious, I guess is the word I'll use. What's nice is there are a little bit of blocks with it, so at least it's a saving grace. This is Fabrics by Stephanie. It's Friendship Green. And, oh, excuse me, I have something in my eye. Like I said, I'm just plugging along on it. This side here, doing good. I concentrated a lot on this side. I might have filled in some up top and maybe, you can tell where I had a little extra of a thread, so I did work on that part. So I like the colors. I think it's fun. Ooh, all right. We are just, now I'm not doing anything. I have no lights on in this house. This is, or up here. This is purely what's happening outside. So we apparently have just gained a bunch of light, even though it's still pouring out. But that makes it look nice and bright. It's actually quite good. The fabric is maybe a titch greener than that, but not too much. So yeah, I will continue to pull this one out and just say, just get through it, right? I don't think, no, I know none of the other Pigeon Coop that I've done before this have had anywhere near the number of fractional stitches as this one. And I wouldn't mind if there were a few here and there, but I think there's just the sheer number that it is something I'm going to have to say to myself, you got to get it out there. Okay, it works for this challenge, put it in that challenge. So the more you do that, the closer it is to a finish. So I think that one will just be scrapbooked. I don't necessarily see it being out. Now, that was the Olympics challenge right there. I'm going to show you, I have 2 full coverages to show you, and then I have a few more pieces after that. All right, so the first full coverage you have seen this month. I finished up on my, so this is kind of like my first focus for each month. It is Watching the World Go By, mini. It's retired, unfortunately. I love this piece. I love Lucy Pittaway's artwork. It was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Lucy Pittaway. So that is ultimately, that's the diamond painting version of it, which is quite pretty. I don't know if they still have that. Well, Heaven and Earth wouldn't. I don't know if she still has a diamond painted version of it out there somewhere. But here I am. So my goal has been to work on it. With this goal, it will not get finished this year, but it will get pretty close. Let me see what I did. I did 1,599 stitches. If I had realized that, I would have done one more stitch. But my goal has been to be between 1,000 and 1,500. So if I can continue that each month, then I will be in a good spot for next year to try to get a finish. Now there is a decent amount of confetti on this piece. So I mix and match, and I think I did quite a bit on this side, so I'm going to fold it over. Now, just both of these full coverages, all the full coverage that I do at the moment are 2 strands over 1 full cross, because I use 18 count, and I do like 2 strands and 18 count. That is my personal preference. Of course, everybody's is different on that. So I still am, for the most part, I'm filled in up here. Now I've kind of come down here to do some fill-ins. So I will find a symbol, I'll work on it a little bit, maybe it goes somewhere else, and so I will continue with it elsewhere. And then when I do that, maybe a time or two, I could not do that the entire time. It would definitely, I would put it aside. I wouldn't enjoy that if it was just straight confetti. So then I will go, and there's some areas, especially around these trees and some of this grass, where there are larger chunks of color. I did quite a bit, actually. I filled in quite a bit of this path. So the top part is all done down here. I still have a little bit. So I go back and forth just because otherwise there's just no way I would continue with it. I have found, for me, and I don't know how, everybody tackles full coverage differently, whether it's just in general, whether it's the block stitching or the confetti stitching. I don't have a pathway. I don't have a rhyme or reason. I literally, from one day to the next, could be on this bottom corner and then this top over here. I take a color and I stitch where I can. If I still have some on the needle, I will go somewhere else and try to add a little bit more. And sometimes I stay in that area and sometimes I jump around. But I'm finding with the confetti, what I have to do is I almost have to treat it, I have to slow down. And I have to use it as kind of like, okay, we're just gonna relax our way through the confetti a little bit. Stitch a little bit of it, see if it can go somewhere else, and then maybe switch up and stitch a block. I could never, I don't think, do a piece that was all confetti. I think it would be a little bit too much for me. Now, who knows what happens when I get down here, how much confetti there is. But at the moment, it's working for me. So you will see this every month, but it's put away now for the rest of, I mean, we only have 8 more days of the month. So it's put away. I will probably stitch on the one I'm going to show you next for the rest of the month. And then I believe in, oh, I don't have the book over here. I believe in March, Whip Warriors does have a full coverage event. So then I will be, I think the way it works is per every 1,000 stitches. So I will put 1,000 on and then rotate from there. I think that's what it is. Well, that's what it was. I don't know yet. I don't know if they doubt they have the actual description out of what you're doing yet. The other one I pulled out. So this is full coverage February, and I know Heather is, I believe, pulling out her full coverages. Now, Heather and I started this one in September. I think it was the first day of autumn. And I thought, well, then I should pull this one out and stitch with Heather. This is Autumn Hollow, and it is by Rose Catherine Kahn. I believe it's Paine, yeah, Paine Free Crafts. Now, this is the piece that has the 6, I think they're called portals, right? I'm not 100% sure. Or hollows, portals, I don't know. This one is called Autumn Hollow. Now, there are people that are stitching it all 6, which I think is something like 950,000 stitches. So I don't think it's 1,000,000 stitches, but it's close. I do have other portals, panels, whatever you want to call it, but I decided just to stitch one. And if I'm enjoying this one, so some of them are quite beautiful. If you look really closely, there's just so many things and details and fun different spots to this piece. And am I very far? No. Now, fabric is ridiculous. I actually have it folded over once, then twice again, because the fabric, when you hold it up, comes to about my nose. That's how, and I'm not tall by any means. I'm only like 5'1", 5'2" at most. I've shrunk. I think at one point in my life I did make it to 5'3", but I am nowhere near 5'3" anymore. So this will become, if I ever get farther and farther down it, it will become very difficult to show you. But for now, it's pretty easy. Here we are. This is where I am. Now, I actually did all of this. I worked on this week. Each night I pulled it out for, an hour or two. I wanted to get to the edge. So you can see it's not very wide. If you've seen people doing it on, say, like a 25 count, it's even a lot narrower than that, or higher. But that's it. And I did a few different colors. And then what I've been doing is I picked a color and I would do a bit, and then I would come over here and again, fill in some of the confetti. I know looks like there's still a lot of little empty places, but I did fill in some good spots there. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased with what I did this week so far with it. So I will work on this through the end of the month. So you'll definitely see it, unless I, for some reason, get stuck on working on something else and don't work on this. You'll see this one next week. Whether or not I'll show it to you the following week depends. What I might do is when that event starts in March, I will pull out, well, maybe I continue on this one for that event and then pull out Watching the World Go By. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, because while this one is out, and what I do is I have all of the different projects in different, like, double gallon bags, whatever. I think it's 2 gallon bags. And, then I pull out whatever colors I need for whichever one I'm working on at a time. And then they go in like one of those like plastic shoebox things. So if I pull out more than one at a time, I have to figure out how to do all of that. So since this one will already be out, you'll probably see this one a few times. before I put it away. But we do have to work on the lambs because we have to get that one as far as I possibly can. I'm not necessarily pushing to have all of these. I have like 15 full coverages started. And who knows, if one strikes my fancy, I'll start another one. They may get finished. Some may never. Some, I know the very first one or two that I've started, I kind of put away and may never come back out again because I was still learning what I liked and what I didn't. So, you know, it's always a process, right? This is always a learning process. But if something gets finished, great. If it doesn't, I enjoyed the process along the way. All right, so let's do another start. This is Bumblebee Etchings from Heart and Hand. Now, I am not stitching this whole piece. In February, Carla, let me write down Carla, does her Be My Own Valentine's Owl. And if you look at Carla, if you watch Carla's videos, so this past one, and she's still named Carla Being Crafty, but she has, because she's doing more crocheting and knitting as well as cross stitch, she's renamed her channel. It's very cute. So we have that video, and the video before that, she talks about the background, if you've not been with her before, of where her Be My Own Valentine Sal came from. And every year I have participated, I think from the beginning that she's done it, and it's basically stitch something with a bee. And, you know, it doesn't have to be, the bee doesn't have to be the only focus, but bees in there. And I hemmed and I hawed what I wanted to do, and I was almost going to buy something, but then I said, you know what, I have this, so let's work on this. And I'm just pulling this piece out, and I don't even think I'm even doing the border. I'm going to stitch the bee, and if I like it just like that, I'm not going to bother with the border, because that straight line border that'd be fun, having a fully finish, right? So I might not even bother with it. Okay, whoops. There's threads everywhere. Extra fabric just kind of floating around. Let's see if I can do this here. So let me bring it up close. I knew in the light you wouldn't be able to see the wings very well. Let me show you on here. Do you see? They're done in, I think, 822. And that's okay. You know what I mean? In person, I can see it just fine. And that's not going to be the focus of my bee anyway. But here it is. This is done on, this is Fresh Cut, and it is the light version from Dying from Cross Stitch. And it's much brighter right now because of the light that's outside. It's a little bit deeper green, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. And I got some good progress done. Now, what I decided to try, because you know I'm always trying different things, and I was sent this, and I said, oh, how cool to try it. It is labeled to use 310, and you know I've used a lot of Anchor Black instead in a lot of my pieces, but we can't get Anchor Black anymore, right? And so somebody had sent me this number 12 DMC 310. So it's one stranded, and it's a little bit thicker, and so I'm using it as a one strand on the 18, and then everything else is the two strands. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, I pull a little bit tight. I am a tight stitcher, so yes, you can see a little bit. If you look really close, you can see a little bit of the fabric underneath. But really, if I look at the model, you can see a lot because I think they only did it one stranded. So I feel like this is nice. So who knew? There's this DMC number 12. Thank you so much for sending that to me and let me give it a try. I'm excited to use it, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So that's where that is. I'll pull this one out probably before Pink Peacock because that got a lot of work. And I don't always finish the bees in February. And we're gonna take a little walk down memory lane for a moment here before I get to the last two pieces I stitched to show you some of my other bees that I have stitched for Carla's. And that also, I'm also gonna show you my full finish. So this one you will probably see again next week. We'll see what we can get done with it. However, let's take a little walk down memory lane. This one right here is Cottage Garden Samplings. I don't remember in which order I stitched them. Most of them are recent finishes. This is probably one of the most recent full finishes. So this is in my 8.5 by 11 scrapbook. Well, 9 by 12 technically, but the page is 8.5 by 11. And I just love it with some pattern paper, kind of wood grained underneath. So that was in one of the sets from Cottage Garden Samplings, one of her year-long sets. This one is the blue flower, I believe, and is Tudor Bee. And I love this pattern paper. I think it matches really nice with the colors. So that was probably one of the first that I full finished. And then one year I did a small, I did the Quirky Quaker, but I didn't do the whole outer edge. I believe, oh, maybe no. No, I think I did do the whole outer edge with this one. And I made this one just a leaner. It's 2 layers of felt, and then I just did comic book board on the back. So I didn't bother covering that. It looks fine, and you're not gonna see the back. So we have that. Actually, I'm gonna, for a second, bring these down because I have another scrapbook page. And here we go. This was last year's stitch. This is from Sub Rosa Designs. I think it's called the Bee Garden. There's a mistake or two here and there. Now, there is a whole other section of stitching around this that's kind of like the beehive look. And I decided I didn't want to stitch it. I kind of liked it like this. And then when I was fully finishing it, I decided I have this metal die. And I'm going to bring it up close because you can see how some of them are open, some of them are not. I decided those actually are supposed to all come out, just like these are. But I didn't want to pop all of them out. I kind of liked the closed and open look of it. So when it came out of the metal die, some of them had just organically popped out, and some of them I would have had to use just a little, sharp edge to just push them all out. And so I immediately turned them over and taped them all together, used my double-sided tape so that they stayed in there, and taped it to it. Now, these small edges, like over here, are sticking up a little tiny bit. And I do have glue that I could put a little glue on a pin and put it behind, but I'm not necessarily sure I need to because this is going to be in a page protector like this one. So it's not like it's going to catch on anything. Once I put it in the page, it's fine. And then I just replicated that same yellow here. Yes, this yellow is a little bit brighter than the yellow in the stitch. However, in person, it actually kind of goes really nicely. So I'm really pleased with it. So that's my newest scrapbook page, and it is full finish number 6 in February. So that's exciting. I'm really thrilled. So I'll put this one up here. I might be able to put the Quirky Quaker here. And then Tudor Bee, I'll give you one more look, and that one just won't go up anymore. So there you go. So that is, 1, 2, 3, 4. This must be year number 5 that Carla's doing this then. So super exciting, and I am thrilled to be joining along with her. Carla, I enjoy doing this every February with you, and thank you for hosting it. And it's gotten some great fun bee stitching in for me, so I do like that too. All right, my next piece here, this one was pulled out. Not only did it cover, so it was pulled out for Lonely Hearts, which was an event in Whip Warriors where you would take a project that for some reason you've kind of put on the back burner, and we were to explain why, and then stitch at least 500 well, no, just stitch on it, I think. I was able to get just over 500 stitches on it. How many did I do? Let me see. 530 stitches. So I thought that was pretty good. And then it also works for I Spy. So I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is Yellow Submarine by Blackbird Designs. You've seen it before. I've seen people stitch it. The reason it was in my Lonely Hearts event was I changed the fabric, which meant I had to change some of the colors. And then it looks similar in some cases. I've introduced some purple. And that blue, the lighter blue, and then some of that fades into my fabric. And then the greens, I haven't added that at all. And I've changed I've kept all the greenery, just one green. But it essentially will look very similar. However, I've changed everything, which, okay, I've done that before, no problem. However, I did not keep really good notes, neat notes, when I changed everything. So here it is. You know what? Let me just do this with it. Here it is. Actually, I can do it this way and just keep it tall. This fish is completely different. that is actually what I stitched for I Spy. So a common household pet. Well, fish, right? People have fish. And if I had to redo it, I might have, you can see inside, I did do it with the light blue, which was called for. I'm not sure when you look at it, you realize that's stitched because it does look so similar to the fabric, which is Dive In from Bestitch Me. But it's done now. I'm not pulling it out. So I did almost all of the fish, the little kind of waves after the fish. I did a lot of the red flowers. I'm using, I think it's called Ruby from Dyeing for Cross Stitch. Not only does she dye fabric, she also dyes cotton. I don't know if she dyes silks. I don't know. I've never looked. And then, as you can see, I had chosen one green for the greenery, and so I was filling that all in over here. I believe underneath, I do want to do that checkerboard border, but I want to do it in purple, this purple, and then I might do it in the pink that's in with the red, so it'd be a pink and a purple. If you wouldn't have seen this in a while, because I haven't stitched on this in a while, because like I said, it's been a struggle. I had Googled what, I think this is what the original album cover looked like. I have to go really far back. I wasn't able to find fabric that deep a blue. And so then I kind of went with this, and you can see where I brought in the purple. This was, 50th anniversary. So I don't know if they brought back, I don't know if this was the original, but I wanted to add some purples in there and just kind of bright, kind of psychedelic colors. I'm going to go with that word. And I really do like it. It has just, it's been a slog because my notes, I have nothing clearly done. And then I'll have, where I've tried a color and then I didn't like it, tried something else, and I didn't tell myself which one oof. So anyway, as a result, this one is definitely a Lonely Hearts piece, but I'm getting close. I have small little things here and there. I don't think I'm going to do all of the flowers. Do you see how there's this tiny one here? I don't think I'm going to do that one. I don't even know. I might do the checkerboard next and see what it looks like if I need to do 1, 2, 3 of these small ones. And then I do have to fill in this with the same pink I filled in with here, which is also a change. So checkerboard next, definitely purple. We'll see. I mean, that the other option is to do the purple and the yellow, which I might do as well, kind of to tie in with the submarine colors, which I did change. There's one variegated and then other DMCs. So it's coming along. I'd like to get it finished this year because at this point it's hanging on. And it's fun when you look at it, but the stitching part of it, I was my own worst enemy with that. And I have learned my lesson that I really have to be better about, if I'm going to change things, make those notes clear and easy to understand, because it's not like you always say, oh, I'll remember. No, you won't remember, especially depending on when you bring it out again. Okay, the last piece is Sampler of the Sea. It is from Carriage House Samplings, and I am plugging along on this. This one is a very fun one. When I want, even though it's not a monochromatic, it's just fun and goes quite quickly. And quite enjoyable. So I do like pulling this one out. Oops, it's stuck. Just because. And that was the case with this one. There was no rhyme or reason. I just brought it out because I like it. And let me show you. I've gotten quite a bit done. I'm doing good on this one. This is Captivating Cassette from Those Missing Stitches. It is not as strong modeling as you're seeing here in the camera right now. So I did quite a bit of this section right here. I do have the umbrella to do. This is another piece. I am changing colors, but I do have better notes. So I know what I'm doing. So I do know what colors I'm going to do here. I had changed the colors of the Lighthouse, and I think I'm going to mimic that over here. I changed, these two are the same color, but they were changed, and a few other things. But I got all of that done, worked all the way over here. I did all of this and I got that whole row done. So I did quite a bit. And I think, yep, my seagull up here is completely done too. He was missing a few pieces. So rows 1, 2 are completely done, and row 3 just needs that kind of beach umbrella. And then we just have the last row. And I did stitch the whale in a Classic Colorworks because I have it for another project, and I don't think it's not a highly variegated but I had it. So I said, you know what, I can buy, if I buy these things, let's use them, right? So I did that as well. But this one, probably another good, really good sit down sessions where I could get a good chunk done, could get this one finished. So this is definitely a 2026 hopeful finish. And yeah, I will enjoy putting that with my other, probably in the scrapbook. I mean, I only have so much space up here that I'm going to put things. So that is my stitching. So yeah, very exciting there. Plans. I plan on finishing the Olympics. We have, well, there was yesterday. So from yesterday on, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So I have 3 more days left to do. And I mean, today's is something you would like to finish. I can't remember what the complete thing was. Be on track to finish, maybe? I'm not sure. And then flowers, floral motif, that's easy, and complete in 2026. The hardest part is just making sure I don't repeat anything, because I've been trying myself. That's just a me goal, not to repeat, because I have enough projects. Let's get as many of them touched. For I Spy, I have 2 prompts left. One is an object or motif that's repeated. That's easy, right? Most things with borders. And then something with a sharp edge, which I've been thinking about. I haven't gotten to that yet. This week is the Stride and Sal. I think that starts on Sunday with Whip Warriors. And then also starting today, so if you'll have seen it either on my Facebook page in the events section or on my Patreon in the challenges section. I am, along with Karen and Mary, we are all doing a version that was inspired by Whip Warriors. They are not doing either Whip Frenzy or Riff Off until April again. And we love the event. So we're calling it Whip Workout Connections. And the first connection you need to make is to snow. And then from there, you are on your own. And you know how much I love creative connections. So go for it. I think it'd be lots of fun. And the idea, for me, I'm trying to stitch between 100 and 200 stitches. And then just go through projects and see what I can get and see what kind of connections I can make. And then you're welcome to do pictures, especially on the Facebook page. I don't know on the Patreon. I have to put in another section, but I certainly can if you want to do pictures. But you don't have to. If you could just say, hey, I got 10 projects done. Or, you know what? I worked on all 5 of my projects and I got some of them all done over the weekend. Whatever it is, that's fine too. It's just to play and have fun. If you want to practice, if you're thinking about joining Whip Warriors or you haven't done that event ever and you want to practice the before and after picture, go for it. That's fine. And you can maybe learn how to create the posts in there so that when you go to do it for real, for them, which you do need to have to do it 100% correctly to get the credit, then you'd be set to go. So that's really up to you. So there's lots of fun things going on this weekend in through next week. And I'm already looking at March. Depending next week, I'm in March, I was looking at March plans. There's a lot. So either I do a separate March plan video or it extends out in next week's video. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet. You'll find out. You may find out on Friday when I film if I went too long and I'd have to do a special one on Saturday would be the last day of the month, right? So we'll see. Alrighty, so that's plans. I got a little bit of happy mail and I'm super excited. I got 2 trading cards came in. Connie, yours came in. Loved it. And Jan, yours came in and it was adorable. I loved it. So if you're saying, what are trading cards? So they're artist trading cards, and we are in the midst of creating for a swap. I spent a lot of time this week going through my year, and if you're stuck, I was talking with somebody yesterday who was kind of stuck for their year. Not only look up historical events from the year you were born, but then I also Googled top movies of that year, top songs of that year, top books of that year, and then I did cultural events of that year, which is totally different sometimes than historical events. And I came up with, I have at least 4 ideas. I doubt I'll have time to stitch 4, but it kind of got things moving and got my brain moving and kind of stuck out of what I would want to do. So there are options. There is a trading card video that talks about this current swap. You still have several weeks yet to stitch and then finish before you have to mail it off. So if you're interested, love to have you. Then I got a lovely little piece of mail from across borders. Thank you very much for doing that. Diane, this card is beautiful that you sent. I love this, and it's actually from Liz Bolton Art. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I love, love, love that. And I was talking about Valdani and different things with Valdani, and she sent me some Valdani floss. Because, you know, I did that experiment with the Valdani Pearl Cotton, and this is, funnily enough, the turkey red, which I am so thrilled for, because we talked about why is it turkey red, but you, of course, all of you all knew the answers. If you have a question, it's so awesome. Somebody will know the answer, and you can always get an answer here. So yeah, so I'm getting a chance to try some of the Valdani floss. So thank you very much. That was really lovely of you to do that, and I can't wait to give it a try and see what it's like in comparison to all these other things that I'm trying. Alrighty, shopping. I did get the fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me. I'm not going to say the name because I think it would give it away, because I believe this is part of her regular line. If you don't want to see, turn away. I'm going to show you right now. So here's the name, and then here's the piece. Of course, my lighting again, not the greatest today, but there it is. Very pretty. Super excited to see what I can do with that. Okay, I put it away. Then I did, I'm doing the Threadworks for my pink peacock, and then one of my starts in March is also using Threadworks, and I only had one of each, because when I don't know what color I'm going to get, I try a bunch of different, you know, I'll try different shades and then only buy one, and then I panic that I'm not gonna have enough, and then I buy another strand. Or skein. So when I was there, I picked up, and look at these colors, the blues and the greens, because, you know, I can never have too many of that. Aren't they gorgeous? So I picked those up from the seller on Etsy that I was getting the other skeins from. Super excited. I think this one is so pretty. I was thinking summer, the sampler season summer from Blueberry Ridge. Maybe something like that. Wouldn't that be pretty? I think of the blues. I think that one, because it's got a little blue, different shades of blue with a little bit of purple. I don't know. I'll put it with the other blues, and then I may forget which one, because there was another one that I was thinking too. So I thought that was so pretty. And then I did get, I don't have plans to start them anytime soon. I got them just because, right? They are were only available for a short period of time in limited amounts. So I did get Lady of the Flag and Queen of Freedom. I ordered them from Floss and Flame, and she got them in, and she immediately sent them out. I did get the beads to go with it, just so I'd have it. And it's funny, like she said, if at some point you decide you do not want to stitch them, well, now I have the pattern and the beads, and I can sell them or pass them on or do whatever I want to do with them. So yeah, I did get those. But like I said, no plans to start those anytime soon. Those are a commitment. I've done one Nora Corbett. I do have the is it Bewitching Pixies? I have a few of those, which I do like. So maybe one day I'll start one of those before I jump into these huger pieces. And that was it for shopping. That's all I have. I talked about Market last week, and I actually made the conscious decision. Much as I love Stephanie Webb, I stopped watching Lindy Stitch's videos. Much as I love Just Keep Stitching Stuff and her new shop and her videos, I stopped watching all of that with Market releases because I was overwhelmed. There are some beautiful pieces, and I know at some point I will buy some, but I'm not going to start anything right now. In March, I would like to start a few smalls for St. Patrick's, and I have 4 March starts already planned. So why pre-order? Why? And I know some of you said you've just done wish lists, which is a really great idea. But the pieces aren't going anywhere. I'm not starting them immediately. So I've made the conscious choice, even on, you know, Facebook and Instagram and all of that. I'm not looking at anything else. It will be there when the time comes, and I would like to stitch it because there are a few. There are definitely some that I will pick, but that was a conscious decision. So aftermarket, if you're looking for some pre-market or post-market haul, pre-order market haul, you won't be finding any here. You could find some other things though, because I have some other things I'd like to buy that, like I said, for some St. Patrick's stitching. So who knows? All right. So that's it for the stitching part. It's a little bit longer this video than last week. If you don't care about the life stuff, then thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. All right, so life. Last weekend was Valentine's. We actually went out Friday night and had dinner. The Thai place that we love in Ocean City has reopened. Limited hours, but reopened. So we went for a very early dinner on Friday night. We were the only ones in the restaurant. We decided to go and have dinner around 4 o'clock. And that way we ate, we enjoyed ourselves, we were home. It was about when Bella's eating dinner time would be, so that worked out perfectly. And we had the restaurant to ourselves, so that was kind of nice too. That was the big exciting event for the weekend. I did some Zooms this week. Mo got a little bit, the weather's been a little tiny bit warmer, so he was able to do a little bit of pickleball. I think he's like, there's some pickleball scheduled tomorrow. I said, well, go for it if you want, you know. I don't know what the weather's like, but you're not going to catch me out there if it's cold. Well, you won't be catching me out there right now anyway, because I'd break every bone if I tried to play at the moment now. I am not very graceful, and I don't move well right now anyway, so that would be something to see, but not a good something to see. We have snow coming. I can't believe I have to say those words. For the last couple years, we had 0 snow, maybe a stray flake here or there. And this year it's just planning on giving us more than I ever want. So I think Sunday night into Monday, they're basically like, snow's coming. We can't tell you how much. We can't tell you where it's going to focus. We can't tell you anything. And I have things to do on Monday. So I might just kind of go ahead of the game and change my plans beforehand and my appointments, and then not have to worry about it on Monday. So yes, we are not yet in any form of spring, sadly. Maybe after this, maybe once we get through February, maybe March will start to give us some springtime weather. Fingers crossed. I'm done with this. I'm cold and I'm cranky and I just don't like it. But that's about it. I don't have anything else really exciting. I'm enjoying the stitching games. February was chock-a-block and lots of fun, and March looks to be the same. So I'm excited to add that element into my stitching. And so that's it. So my friends, I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I hope you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, however you need to. And please remember that you are important. You are important and you matter. I can't stress that enough. And I just hope you feel it. I feel it, that you feel it in your heart that you really do matter and you really are important. All right, until next time, happy stitching.